Chris, I asked David this question too, and you guys throughout this camp have had your same lines, your same deep pairs, your same penalty killing, the same power play. Uh, what does it mean to you guys, and what does it do for you guys to not change anything up, to be what you were when the season crossed?
Yeah, in my experience, when you go from a regular season to a playoff, you obviously have a few days to prepare for the team that you're playing. And you want some semblance of continuity and comfortability going into that series, at least to start. Obviously, a lot of stuff is subject to change, but in my mind, this is just an extended version of that. And we're getting ready for one opponent, and that's where our focus is. So that's the stuff we got to work on every single day.
I was just asking about how the whole process of being back here and dealing with the protocols and all the different, weird stuff that's out of the normal, out of the usual for you guys. Like, what has it been like for you guys, going through this process with everything being so different outside of the rink, and even, to come into the rink, all the things you have to go through?
Sure. I mean, we're being tested a lot. Earlier on, we were broken up into smaller groups. So there was a series of things and a series of protocols that we had to follow. But at the end of the day, it's not a whole lot when you consider what's going on in the world we just have to do a couple of things and kind of make sure we're crossing our T's and dotting our I's and keeping each other safe. Last thing we want to do is to have someone not be able to come with us to Toronto after how hard we've worked for the last week and a half. So yeah, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's not a whole lot, but there's definitely several things that we're doing on a daily basis to make sure we're keeping each other safe.
Hey, Chris. Generally, in a training camp, you're playing an exhibition game on your fourth or fifth day already. So now you've gone through this. You still have another week. How anxious are you as an individual and as a team to actually play a game? And is there a value to more drills? I mean, are you at a point where you're drilled out, or do you need these 4, 5, 6 days to get ready?
Yeah, I mean, the concept of an extended pre-camp or extended practice schedule, I think, is to use the first several days to get ourselves into playing shape and to get ourselves up to speed and to get comfortable making plays at speed with less time and space. I mean, those are things that are hard to recreate. So that's why we've been scrimmaging a bunch, and that's why we'll continue to scrimmage a little bit. But as we get later and later here, and I guess you call it a camp, right? In camp, closer to the game time on August 1st, I think we're starting to do a little more pre-scout and kind of hammer home some of the things that we want to do going into that series against Carolina.
Yeah, Chris, curious, what do you think your games are going to sound like? What do you think they're going to feel like? Have you thought about that? No fans, but what's the atmosphere gonna be like for a player in the middle of a game like this?
Yeah, well, I mean, not having fans obviously is a huge difference. I mean, there might not be the same energy per se, but you kind of have to manufacture your own. And at the same time, it's going to be very high stakes. It's still playoff hockey. It's still one team moving on and another team having to go home and sit on their hands for several months and think about things that they could have done better, while the other team gets to go and compete for something that we've all dreamed of winning our entire lives. So I don't expect the hockey to be any less competitive. It will be a different feel not having that kind of electricity and that noise in the building, but it's up to us on the bench and as teammates to bring that energy.
Yeah, Chris. So with your line with Mika and Booch, you guys obviously have played together so much over the years that you know each other very well and all that. But Mika's, having a career year this year, and so is Booch. So I'm wondering, like, if you've seen a difference or can explain like what the difference is between those guys this season and in previous seasons. Is it just that they're older, or is there something that a light bulb clicked on for either or both of them?
Yeah, I don't think there was a light bulb moment. I don't necessarily subscribe or believe in that. I mean, growth and progression is something that that kind of comes differently, right? I mean, if I was to kind of look at it on a graph, you would see the flat and then the improvements and the flat and the improvements. And speaking specifically to those two in their games, I know that they're constantly working and they're constantly looking to improve and to grow and to help their team in any way they possibly can. So not something that I think was unexpected. I think if you asked anyone around our team, you knew that they were capable of that. And honestly, I think they're capable of even more. So I think it's just the tip of the iceberg for both of them.
Chris, what are the keys for your power play to be clicking like it was for stretches this season? Like, what do you need to see in the next week or so before you guys start playing?
I mean, obviously you want to be good in practice, but I think the mentality is the most important thing. As long as the right ideas are there going into the series and the understanding that we're going to outwork the penalty kill, because that's a team that works incredibly hard, and I know that'll be their mentality going in, is to outwork our power play and to keep us on our heels, and that's a big strength of their team. So at the end of the day, playoffs, power plays see a dip in percentages every year for good reason. I mean, the ice gets a little chewed up, mind you. There's a lot of people in the building, and it's late spring, early summer, so the ice gets a little beat up, and teams are coming hard, and every single person on both teams is throwing themselves in front of pucks. So, but at the end of the day, it's as long as we have the right mentality and the right mindset, and we go out there with the attitude that we're going to try to tilt the ice and at least generate high quality percentages, give ourselves an opportunity to score and build some momentum. And I mean, it's hard to kill. It's really, really hard to kill. Not that I can really speak to it because I don't penalty kill, but if you got the kill running around and they're trying to pressure, and you got them a bit on their heels, I mean, you can generate some serious momentum even if you don't score. So I think that has to be our attitude going into every single power play. Yeah.
Hi, Chris. How are you? Good to see you.
You too.
Just from your perspective, how tough will it be to make this leap from training camp work, one exhibition game, to playoff intensity? Will it be a few shifts in, the unusualness of it all will just give you all the motivation you need, you think?
I mean, it's hard to speak to because we've never been in a situation like this, but I imagine that it's going to be quite a jump and that there are going to be a lot of nerves and a lot of butterflies, and there should be. I mean, that's how it is when you go from full regular season into the playoffs. So it's kind of like trying to jump on a speeding train in a lot of ways, but it's like that for everybody. So I think the teams that are able to kind of channel that energy, lean on the things that they've been doing all year long in practice, the structure, the teammates, more that we can give each other information and talk on the ice, on the bench, I think the easier the transition will be.